Hello, I am so excited to be starting this video. It's probably going to span over a few months, so I'm starting this process on my watch is dead. I think it's April 4th. Ignore my eczema. It's April 4th. Let's just say that. It might be the 5th, but I am starting this in early April, and this video is the journey of the spilled soup sweater. So I did already mock up this design, which I'll have a picture of. So I'm trying to do that now, where I kind of draw what I want the design to look like. So here's the spilled soup sweater, and I did also make a chart of it. So this isn't the beginning of the designing journey, but it's pretty early on. I have not yet swatched, and I think there's going to be a lot of trial and error in this design, and so there's going to be so much to see. But yes, I am vlogging the process of designing this sweater. It is a Colorwork circular yoke sweater that is inspired by soup ingredients. It's specifically inspired by not these yarns, and my actual sweater will be in different yarn colors, the same yarn base though. But I wanted to swatch in this darker version with like this as the main color with the dark brown and this as this bright green contrast color, so that I could kind of see what a different version would also look like. But let me show you what the main colors for the sample will actually be. To actually knit this sweater, I'm planning on doing it in these two colors. This is the main color. This is called Flour Sack by Salty Blonde, and this is Soup by Salty Blonde. And all of these are in her Dolce fingering base, which is super soft. It's 19.5 microns. It is a superwash base, but I don't know, it feels really nice, and I feel like it still has some good like fuzz to it. It's not like overly smooth like some superwash bases. So yeah, very excited to get started on this. She also, Ryan of Salty Blonde, other than this skein, which I bought back in October, did also send me all this yarn. So I do want to point that out, that all of this yarn has been gifted to me by Ryan. Not for a sponsorship or anything, just design sport, but still incredibly, incredibly appreciative of her. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Oh, and these are the colors. This is the color Truffle, and this is the color Chartreuse with Envy, and it's gonna be so fun. So I'm gonna have a version that's like, I don't know, like just a background color that doesn't really have anything to do with the soup, and soup, like butternut squash soup that I'm imagining like spilled out on a table. And then this version is probably going to be slightly different, because what I'm imagining is this is the main color and this is the contrast color, and I feel like this kind of serves like a dark mushroom soup or like a rice barley kind of soup with like basil oil on the top. And so I'm imagining this spilled soup sweater as showing like the soup as the main color, and then the basil oil as like the color work that's been like drizzled in this pattern on top. And like that's just my own brain, it doesn't really matter. I'm still making the same sweater, but yes, I'm very excited to swatch tonight. So I wanted to film this little intro before I go get you know, not ugly, but I'm gonna like take a shower, and so my hair is gonna be different, and I'm gonna be watching TV, and it's gonna be dark. So I wanted to start out with the beautiful sun and my hair not crazy. It's still a little crazy, but when is it not? Just not as crazy. And yeah, so I'm so excited to get started. So as I mentioned, I did already develop a Colorwork chart. It's going to be a process. I want to take you all along on so much of this process. So, you know, designing, it has a lot of different steps depending on what you're designing, but for this one, I started out with the idea back in October of what I wanted. I eventually sketched it out, figured out like, okay, I want mushrooms, and then to like have the yolk get bigger, have carrots, and then have the butternut squash. I also then decided like, I want the squash, I want it to actually like the Colorwork to go longer than just the yoke. I wanted it to be overlapping. I decided like I want the ribbing. I probably have to add short rows into the ribbing, and I want the ribbing in the contrast color. And so I kind of was thinking about that all and deciding it all, and then was ready to make my charts. And so to make my charts, I basically took an image of like a drawn carrot and put it on the background of Stitch Fiddle, or sorry, Knitting Chart is the app I use for making charts, like knitting charts. And so you can put an image on the background, and then I made my charts by kind of filling in the diagram. You can also do this on graph paper. Like you just need to make a pixel art design to make a stitch chart. So I did that for each of my soup ingredients, the mushroom, the carrot, and the butternut squash, and then I placed them all together to make my yoke. And so it was a fun process to try to figure everything out, to make sure the math worked, figure out where the increases go, and figure out like approximately how long I think it's going to be. I still have to swatch, of course, to see what my gauge is actually going to be, but I think that I have it right. And so yes, we're gonna swatch tonight. So, okay, I think that's all I want to tell you to start off, and once I start swatching, we will talk again. This is gonna be like a multi-day swatch, honestly. Like, the yoke is like 80 rows, and so you're gonna hear from me. You're gonna watch me swatch for like quite a few days. So, okay, let's cut to me swatching now. Hi, it's actually the next day. I did swatch that night. I started swatching, and then I forgot to switch my needles between the ribbing and the Colorwork, and so I needed to start again. So I started again this morning, and I'm about to finish the carrot. So I've got this going on. So here, it's gonna be hard to see because it's tiny and in the round. Here's the mushroom, and then here's the carrot, and he looks funky because I'm working in the round on a small circumference with Colorwork, and so tension is slightly awkward. But I decided I wanted to work, here's the carrot, you can pretty much see it. I decided I wanted to work in the round for this one and do 2 motifs, because that way the carrot is basically on either side of the motif, like half of the carrot is on either side, so that it's offset from the mushroom and the squash. And so in order to actually see what the carrot looked like, I had to do at least 2 motifs, and it just made the most sense to work in the round, so that I could see it and see what the fabric will actually be like. So that's what I decided to do, and it looks really funky. Like just this little, I don't know, it kind of looks like a wine bottle sweater right now. Like here's the little wine, I don't know. So yeah, I'm just trotting through on this. It's like 80 rows, so it's taken a while. Quick update. This is probably the last update you'll see before I finish the swatch. And look at my little squash. He's almost done. I've got a buddy that is kind of making it very hard to knit, so yeah. I wanted, like, here's how I'm feeling right now. I have to block it still to get the final measurements, but I think I need to increase both the length and the width of all of my motifs, especially I feel like the mushroom up here should be a lot bigger. So I'll have to go back to the drawing board on stitch counts, just make all of my charts bigger basically, and maybe a little closer together. I'm also not sure how I feel about the carrots being like fully filled in. Maybe I'll make them outlines too. I just feel like it looks kind of weird to have the filled in carrot and then everything else be outline. And the carrot's definitely not pointy enough. It's like too fat. So I'm gonna redo the carrot. And yeah, I feel like it would be better if the carrot was also an outline and I can add little like squiggly marks in it. And the carrots both look really weird because I had to work magic loop with Colorwork on the top here, and so I don't know, the tension got kind of weird, like right in the middle of the carrot where I was having to catch floats and doing my like magic loop transitions. So yeah, they're kind of a little funky. I think it'll mostly block out, but regardless, I don't feel like it's a pointy enough carrot. It's like way too fat to be like a recognizable carrot. So yeah, but there's a lot to learn from this, which is good. I'm gonna finish the squash to make sure I like the way that it's looking, and you know, I can just size it up, and then I will also knit a few, probably just centimeters of stockinette in a needle size down to make sure that I can match the tension of my Colorwork with tension of my stockinette. So that's where we are. This looks so weird though. Like, it does kind of look like a wine bottle, like one of those, like a champagne bottle maybe, where they're more like tapered. So looks funky. I love the way the squash looks, I really do. So that's a win. And yeah, just increase the size and change the spacing a little bit. So we'll know more though once it's off the needles and blocked. So I'll just check in once I have a blocked piece. I normally would like film myself blocking it, but I feel like I film myself blocking so many things. So I will just talk to you when I have the piece ready to look at and dissect, and then we will go from there. So, and there we go. Oh, finally she's settling a little bit more. Miss Booty. Okay, bye. Hi. Okay, so I finished the swatch last night and it's finally dry, and here is how it looks. It's on a Coke bottle, or I guess this is a Fanta bottle. Like, it's kind of a perfect slope in size, so I blocked it on this bottle. I feel like it helps you see. And so the squash, this is a butternut squash. I think that the squash turned out really well. I might want to make it a little bit bigger, like 1.25 times bigger, so like 25% larger. Yeah, and then here is the carrot, which I'm gonna fully reformulate. I feel like it's too fat and I don't really like it all filled in. Like, I think it's too hard to tell it's a carrot. Like, Noah thought it was a pepper. My friend who saw it, Leah, was not sure what it was. So I think that I'm gonna make it an outline, make it thinner and longer, and add some little lines into it. And then also make this a little bit bushier, like the top of the carrot. And then we've got our mushroom, which got slightly stretched, but I feel like it looks pretty good. The mushroom, again, I think it could be like a little bit bigger. And then spacing wise, the carrot I feel like is really close to the mushroom and could move down a little bit more because I think the mushroom's getting lost. And so overall, this is a really great first draft, first swatch. I think that I got a good needle size. Like, I think that, you know, my tension looks good, the needle size looks good. The carrot like has this weird line in the middle because I was working magic loop with Colorwork, and it's very hard to have your tension right when you're doing magic loop with Colorwork. And then you might be noticing this line here, and I caught my floats in the exact same place the entire time. So I feel like this is a good lesson for me and maybe others of like, maybe don't catch your float in the same spot, like try to mix it up, because it does create a seam if you do that, or a faux seam. So yeah, but the fabric, it's so soft and like comfy and nice. And then I swatched on the bottom with US 2 needles. So I knit this, the Colorwork, and US 3, and then the bottom I wanted to see what my stockinette was like, and I used US 2 needles. And I do think I should size up to 2.5 for this part. It's a little bit smaller. Like, it definitely goes in a little bit. It's not bad, but I don't know, maybe not. I think I need to make a larger swatch of this to really see. But I'm gonna get my stitch count for my gauge, and then reformulate. But here, I'll show you off the bottle. So, you know, it's 2 little motifs here. This is kind of how it will sit. So I'm imagining like a longer ribbed neck, and then it's sitting, you know, in a circular yoke on my chest. And so it's like this. I did put in a stitch marker for where I want to separate for the body. And so this would be the yoke until like right here, which if I trace the line is like a little bit below my armpit. And I think that is a good spot for it. Or if I like line it up here, yeah, I think that that's still a good spot to separate. So all of the modifications I do will have to keep it within this section. So we shall figure that out. I will be back with an update soon. I don't know when I gotta reformulate, so you'll probably see me. I'm about to go into my 2 days of work where I work like 10 hours a day, and drive an hour each way, and so I'm definitely not doing anything tomorrow or the day after on this, but I'll probably pick it up on Friday and give you a little update on reworking the color work, unless like, I don't know, I might just want to stay up really late after working and try to reformulate, so we shall see. Oh my gosh, there's a string, as you know, on this, and Fig is a little enthralled by that. So okay, well, it's date night, hence my outfit, so I'm gonna go enjoy a date. So I've been doing a lot of the not fun, or I don't know, I still find it fun, but it's not the like cute part of designing a project, which is not knitting, it's grading. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but I'm on a big ol' spreadsheet, lots of numbers to make different sizes. I'm just focusing on the one size that I'll do the sample in now, but checking all my gauge, figuring out stitch counts, how to work with my gauge and my bust circumference in the charts I have where they need to be divisible by certain numbers. And so I've worked that out and then redeveloped my chart. So I just printed it so you can see this is what knitting chart looks like. I made the mushroom a little bigger. The carrot goes between the charts, so it's hard to see, but the carrot is here. I made it longer and thinner, and I made it not colored in. And then I made my squash a little bit bigger too. So I've got my updated chart, and I'm pretty much ready to cast on for my sample in my size. The one thing I need to work on a little bit more is short rows. I want to add short rows into the ribbing because, you know, you want short rows in a circular yoke, especially because otherwise the front of the neck and the back of the neck are sitting at the same level, and that's not really human anatomy. You need the front of the neck a little lower. And with this design, I have this red line here, and this red line is actually where I will split for the sleeves, and so some of the color work will be beneath the yoke, and I'm starting immediately with color work, so I need to add my short rows into my ribbing for the collar, and so I just need to figure that out a little bit. I know it's possible, I know that you can do that, but Just need to figure out how to best add them in, and then I can cast on, which is exciting. I don't know when I'll actually cast on. I've just been working on this when I don't want to be physically knitting, and I'm in the middle of a project right now, and so I might cast this on as soon as I finish my current whip, or might wait a little longer. I don't know. We shall see, but exciting things are happening, and I don't know. I think this behind the scenes of designing is interesting. Like, I can show you a little bit. I don't want to show you too in depth, of course, but I'll show you a little bit of what I'm looking at. Okay, so this really is not like the best angle, but you probably don't need to see that well. Basically, and I think everything's backwards now, but basically these are the spreadsheets I use to design. I first make a little page with my gauge information. I'll put how many stitches per 10 centimeters, what that means in rows, and stitches per centimeter, and then how many centimeters per row. Both of those measurements are really important for everything that comes after. And then I use the same sheet for all of my sizing. I've pulled, this is the body measurements I'm going against. So these are all from the Craft Yarn Council. I have up to a 61-inch bust circumference in here. That's what the Craft Yarn Council goes up to. So I have all of the sizing information for those, and then I can decide what ease I want here, and then kind of make some calculations on how to get the garment I want based on these body measurements. And a lot of this at this point is plugged in well, so it automatically calculates based on the different sizes. I can just change the ease here and it does everything I want. I'll add my gauge information again. This is the wrong information for yardage. I need to add in yardage information, but you can calculate how many yards you need of yarn by doing your gauge swatch and seeing how many gauges per square centimeter of yarn you're using, and then you can use that to get a pretty good yardage figure based on grams first. And so that's the sheet, and then I go into my stitch count sheet, which I'm only looking at medium right now to figure out, okay, so like I need my neck circumference to be around this size, that's this many stitches, but I also need it to be divisible by a certain number based on the chart I'm working. And so all of that kind of comes together in this sheet. You know, here's where I'm still trying to figure out the short row calculations. And then like here's, you know, this is what I want for the body stitch count, like all of my yoke, all of that comes into play here. Hello. It's been probably a month, if not more, since I first swatched. It's Fig. I'm sitting outside, so sorry if you can hear noises. But yeah, it's been about a month since I first swatched and started planning this. I've been working on some other projects and then also trying to design the sweater to make it work, you know, trying to figure out where I can incorporate short rows, where I can, how I can space out the design so that it works, like the color work, so that it works for all the sizes that I need. So been doing all that, but I finally cast on last night and I've got my collar almost done. So I'm making a folded over collar and I'm trying to put the short rows in the neck, like in the collar, because with a colorwork yoke, like I don't really want a random gap in the back, like right after the neckline. And then sometimes you can put them like before you split for sleeves, kind of at the bottom of the yoke. But for this design, I have color work going a little bit into the actual body of the sweater, and so it does not make sense to do that. And so I'm trying the short rows in the yoke just so that the neck sits a little bit lower, it's a little bit more comfortable. So we'll see. I'm proud of myself because this is a folded collar, and so I've mirrored a set of short rows so that it'll fold nicely, sit nicely. So we've got this, and right now Looks kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm not going to know if it'll fit well until I start the yoke and get a few, increases done. So my goal today is to finish the collar and then also do the mushrooms, which is the first colorwork motif. So hopefully we'll see if I can do that, because that would be really fun and exciting to like get to see it and also see how it's fitting. So yeah, but I'm just enjoying my outside time. My garden's like really in bloom right now. I've got a little fountain on. I've got kitties in the window. Maybe I'll show you what the garden looks like if you care, because it's bringing me a lot of peace. So sitting out here working on my knitting for like every morning for just like an hour. So it's been great. Hi, I'm coming at you with a late night try on, but look, it's on and it's fitting and the short rows are correct now. So originally I'd had the short rows basically in the opposite direction, and so they were like kind of bulging up, and now they're like going down the way I need. And like, look at my little neckline. I think like it's a little stretchy, but I think that's better than it being too tight. So here's what it looks like, and I have my first 2 rows of the yoke done, and so now it's colorwork time. So I'm so excited. I really should be in bed though, so I need to like leave it here, and I will check in. Probably I'll check in once I have the mushrooms done, unless I hit like a huge roadblock. So okay, good night. First try on, successful try on of many, hopefully. Hello, I'm coming at you with another late night update. I was at work all day, so I don't have that much progress, but look, I finished the mushrooms, and so I'm officially on the color work, and this is a good fit check. I feel like it's looking pretty dang good, so that is exciting. The neck's like maybe a little loose, but I think I'll just put some elastic in, and I'd rather it be like loose than tight. So there's that. And yeah, my little mushrooms. And yeah, I think my increase rate is good, hopefully. So I just need to, increase the sweater now. Sorry, I worked all day, and so I'm very tired. But fun little update on the try on, and I'm gonna go to bed now. Okay, good night. Hello, good morning. I'm just doing a quick try on, honestly, because I needed to change the cord size. So I'm about halfway through the carrot. So there's the carrot, there's the mushroom, and I think it's fitting well. It's like increasing the way I need it to. The collar's a little up here, but it's not tight, so I'm comfortable with it. And I definitely will, mostly focus on how it kind of lays when I'm blocking it. So I think that I have some adjustment that I can do there. And yeah, I'm feeling content with it. So I'm gonna change to bigger needles and keep working. My goal today is get halfway through the chart. It's like a little over 100 rows, and I'm on about row 35 right now. So I need to do like 20 rows to get about halfway, which I think I can do 20 rows. I don't know. We shall see. But I'm very stoked about it right now. So we're making good progress, I think. And yeah, the mushrooms are so cute. The carrot is coming together better. I think like once it also starts tapering down, it'll be even cuter. And then I just started the very tippy top of the squash. So we're getting there. Hello, it's another day. It's another video of me sitting on my couch and knitting with my cat. I figured like in these vlogs I almost never kind of talk while I'm knitting. They're very like update, progress update, and like b-roll of me knitting, so I figured I'd maybe talk a little bit. I'm really enjoying this project. I think it's going well. I need to do another try on. I haven't done one in a while. So I'm in my head, I have to like earn the try on, so I'm trying to get to row 60, which I'm actually working on right now, so then I'll try it on, but want to finish the row first to try it on, because I'm like, oh, it needs to be like good enough progress, even though I don't think I've tried it on in like 20 rows at least, so gotta try that on. Make sure it's fitting. I think that I am gonna go redo the collar. I think so. Initially I cast on the collar and then worked it down, but I think that I can MacGyver a little bit, do a little sweater surgery, and be able to work up so that I do not have to fully restart, because that's not my plan. But I think that I want to make the collar a little bit tighter. I used a 2.5 US 2.5. I don't know what size that is in millimeters off the top of my head, but US 2.5, Colorwork's in a US 3, and I should have used a US 2 for the ribbing, because I'm going to use a 2.5 for the body, like the stockinette that's not Colorwork. And yeah, I don't know why I was just kind of dumb. Do you see her licking me? She does this all the time. She just gives me little licks. So yeah, I would like to make the collar a little tighter, and I feel like I could take one more stab at the short rows being exactly what I want. So yeah, I've got some work to do there, but here, I'll give you a little sneak preview. I will try it on, and the clip next will be a try on, but you can see the mushroom. God, that is hard to see with, it's like backlit, but mushroom. Here is the completed carrot. I completed that last night, which is so exciting. It's very hard to show all bunched up on the needles like this. And then squash is getting started. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying this project, but I have set some probably unrealistic goals for progress in a day. I'm trying to do 15 rows a day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I've got like a lot of stitches on the needles. You know, it's fingering weight, circular yoke sweater, so there's a lot of stitches going on. So I probably gonna have to modify that goal at some point, but so I work Explore Knits 2 days a week, and we work long days, and it's far away. So I end up gone from my house for about 12 hours between commuting. You know, we take like lunch break and stuff. So I've got commute, lunch breaks, and then work. And so it's about 12 hours gone. And so I don't get a lot done on those days, and so I really want to finish knitting wise. I don't get a lot done knitting wise. I get a lot done like at work because I'm there the whole time. But yeah, because of that, I try to kind of stack my knitting into the other 5 days of the week, which like is totally fair. Like it's not even like a sacrifice at all. It's not like a hard thing to do, because it's like, okay, just like I can knit pretty much as I want Friday through Tuesday, and then 2 days of the week I can't because I'm busy. So that's not like, you know, a big deal. So I just need to be aware of that. And yeah, because of that, I have kind of set a goal of, before I go back to work on Wednesday, finishing the color work. And to do that, I'd need to do 15 rows a day. So it's Saturday right now, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I've got four days. And 60 is my 10th row of the day. So potential to actually get there. I'm pretty positive I will. And I semi-timed it. I didn't really time it. I just was like working, and this is how long it happened to take me. But each row takes me about 15 minutes. Some maybe less. Some that are more complex and like increased rows probably take me more. And like obviously that's slowly going up because I'm increasing, but generally it takes me about 15 minutes to do a row. So 5 rows is a little over an hour, for instance. So 10 rows is like 2.5 hours. So yeah, I've really got to be devoting my time to knitting because it's like 3 hours and 45 minutes about in a day. So I'm really prioritizing that. I started a new show called Blind Spot. I haven't paid attention because I've been knitting, but I don't know if I like it. It's like an FBI show, which I tend to like. I like mysteries a lot. But I don't know if I like this one. I haven't paid attention enough to actually know, but this girl turns up in Times Square covered in tattoos and with like full amnesia, and the tattoos keep helping them solve crimes, and she's like really good at crime solving and like being kind of an FBI agent and a police officer, so they're trying to figure out like her background. I don't know, it's interesting, but can't tell you what's happening. So yeah, okay, I'm definitely getting rambly now, but little tiny mini knit and chat in the middle of this. And I promise as well that like maybe I'll go try it on upstairs so that we're in a new location while I'm talking about this sweater, because project vlogs are mostly me sitting on my couch being like, hi, update. But can you blame me? I like working on the couch. It's a good spot to be. So, okay. Well, I will check in again with you soon. So, bye. All right, hello. Here's the first try on with like actually good lighting. So, it's fitting pretty well. The neck you can see is like, yeah, a little loose. So I'm gonna go back and fix that. Honestly, it might just need some elastic, but I want to make sure that it is good. And it's sitting pretty well. And then look at my mushroom, the carrot, and the start of the squash. I feel like it's so cute. So I'm really happy with how it's looking. This is so fun. Like, I'm making a sweater. I'm in my like lounge PJs, so ignore that, but I needed something where I could try on the sweater. Yeah, it's coming along so nicely. I have 5 more rows I want to do tonight, so I've got to get going on that because that's like an hour and 15 minutes and it's 8 p.m. So would like to work on that a little bit more. But yeah, I think like it's fitting exactly how I want as far as like the increases. There's no weird bunching at all. Like it just is a circle, and that is what I wanted. It's a circular yoke. I'm doing it. So that's really cool. I'm saying a lot. I'm tired, if you cannot tell. And Fig is playing with the yarn. Can I show you this? Yeah, Fig is all up in that yarn. Oh, okay. So we're gonna have to wrap up this segment because I don't want her getting into that. But yeah, it's coming along. I can't believe this is like from my head and now it's here. And I get to use my soup yarn. I'm just over the moon about this. So yeah, I'm gonna put it back on the needles. It's nice too, every time I try it on, I try to try it on at a stage where I need to change like cord sizes of my circular needles. And so I needed to change cord sizes. And so I'm gonna put it back on a bigger cord now so I can work without it all bunched up. But like, oh, look at that squash. It's so good. I'm so excited. Ooh, am I gonna have, I might have squashes like on my boobs. It's fine. I'll accept it. But it might be kind of funny on the chest. I think it'll be fine though. We'll see as it goes on, but it's fine. So yeah, I'm making a sweater. Can you believe it? Like, this is from up here and now it's here. And there's a carrot. It's an identifiable carrot and an identifiable mushroom. Like, okay, I'm clearly too excited, too tired, and I should just sit on the couch and not talk to anyone for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna go be a little hobbit, do my knitting time, and I'll come at you tomorrow with another update. Tomorrow should be good. I should make good progress again, trying to do 15 rows a day. But yeah, here's a little off the needle look. You can see the neckline a little better. The short rows definitely are better than the first time I did them, but they still, I don't know, they don't exactly do what I need. And I feel like maybe short rows in the collar are not gonna do what I need. And maybe this pattern just needs to not have short rows in order for the color work to make any sense. So I don't know, I'll try again. I'll play with it one more time. But sweater, like, it's getting there, which is so cool. So, okay. Good night. Good morning from the birds and me. I have not completed my 15 rows a day in 2 days. I didn't film anything yesterday because I was just, I don't know, I was tired. Didn't feel like it. Well, I filmed a whole normal video, so I was like, I'm not gonna, I don't know, whatever. This is where we are though. So I'm, you know, on the butt of the squash. Is that what it would be called? Where it like opens back up? I think so. So, you know, I'm still in a good spot. I think I'm on row 76 right now. So, I was trying to get to row 80 yesterday and I was just too tired. I was so tired. My fingers were hurting and the last thing I'd want to do is hurt myself while doing this project. So 80 rows a day is or 15 rows a day is probably not reasonable. So I'm removing that and I'm just knitting as much as I can. And if I don't finish by Tuesday and I have to work color work during my work week, I will survive. Like, it's fine. So yeah, I'm outside today. I'm just sitting on my little deck, surrounded by my garden. I realized I never gave a garden tour last time, so I'll do that. But yeah, surrounded by my garden, hearing the birds. Got my breakfast. Having yogurt with Greek yogurt with frozen blueberries, granola, and hemp seeds. And I've got some oolong tea in my cute little Denver mug. So yeah, gonna enjoy some peaceful moments in the garden. This is what knitting's about after all. It is not actually about knitting a sweater as fast as I can. It is about enjoying myself. So, okay. And I'll also give you a garden tour because I'm ecstatic with how my garden's looking right now. Okay, so here's the garden tour that nobody asked for. So first, I've got this tomato, which has some beautiful flowers on it. Ooh, and a spider web. This will be an heirloom tomato. Oh, look, my first tomato. Oh my God, that's the first time I'm seeing that. That's so exciting. So I've got the tomato in here and I co-planted it with basil. And then I've got kind of an herbal garden. I've got chamomile, lemon balm, 2 kinds of lavender, and then I have snapdragons, more snapdragons. I love snapdragons. And a poppy. I love poppies too. And then I have cucumbers, marigolds in the back, beets and carrots, a bell pepper, which I had a bell pepper coming, but it started to kind of rot, so I pulled it off and I'm leaving it. I don't know, maybe I should put it somewhere for the birds. And then I've got cantaloupes, and it'll go up this arch I put in, so that's cool. I've got another tomato. This is a mini cherry, and it has some tomatoes already. This is a golden cherry, so I'm really excited. I love like golden tomatoes. This is my peony, which is kind of nearing its end on some, but like here's a happy little bulb, and the bees love this plant, spiders love it, so that's good. I've got this fun hanging plant, and then this was Bulb City, so all of the flowers have gone away, but it was a bunch of tulips and daffodils. And I do have, these are all wildflower seeds, so we'll see if those start coming up. This is a raspberry plant, this is a blackberry plant, and this is a strawberry with tons of strawberries coming in. I'm giving those another day though. And then I've got a rose back there, columbines, this vine that keeps growing back, another poppy, and yeah. Oh, and then I have my little herb garden with parsley, chives, cilantro, which my garden store only had like baby cilantro, so it's still growing in, and another basil, but this is like a bonsai basil, so it's like mini. And then up on my deck, I do have mint and some catgrass. And then here's my little seat. Oop, I stepped on the pepper. My seat. And then I also have this dahlia plant, which I freaking love dahlias. It's actually two, so I've got these ones and this one. So there's the garden tour. And then this, I don't know, I planted a dahlia bulb that I think didn't bloom. Like, I don't think it took the dahlia bulb, and now I'm not sure what's growing out of here, but I'm just letting it grow. Hello, I'm here with an update, and I got these things at Costco yesterday. They're like mochi, fruit mochi. I'll move them. I have been slacking. I wanted to get to 85 yesterday. I got to 81. So honestly, that's not that far off. But I originally, in my plan of doing 15 rows a day, was gonna get to 90 yesterday. So 9 off. And my fingers are very crunchy. I've definitely overcommitted, because now I'm also committed to like when I want the test call to happen and yada yada yada. So I feel overwhelmed, and I'm like knitting as much as I can, but I should also chill out a little bit. But that's where I'm at. I'm a little over 10 rows away from splitting for the sleeves, which I would love to get there today. I don't know if I will. I actually desperately need to clean my house a little bit before I'm having early dinner with my mom, and then we're going to yoga together. So from 5 to 8 I will be gone. Maybe I'll bring my knitting with me, and I might be able to like get a little bit done after dinner, like between dinner and yoga. We'll see. But my fingers are so crunchy, so I need to take a break. In my head I'm like, no, I have to finish this row and then I can take a break. But like this hand specifically, my right hand, these fingers hurt, and that doesn't seem good. So I should take a break. I'm gonna eat a mochi, and then I'm gonna clean up my house a little bit, because like I don't want to show you, but yeah, it's It's messy. I mean, you can see there's a bunch of clothes next to me. Maybe we'll join in the round or split for sleeves tonight. Maybe. That would be like 12 more rounds. So probably not. But I'm about to do my last increase round, and that's exciting. So we're gonna celebrate small things at least. So, okay. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye. I have the last try on probably before I split for sleeves. This is how it's looking. I'm tucked in my blanket. I've got my mushrooms, the carrot, the squash is almost done, and it's a good length. I'll add 1 more inch before adding this splitting for the sleeves, and I think that's gonna be perfect. The neck, I have to fully assess once I have sleeves on, or like armholes, but I think that I am gonna try to maybe redo the neck. I think I should have done it at a smaller needle, as I've already mentioned, so yeah, I'm gonna try to redo the neck, but I also think it'll like stretch out a little bit, because do you see how it's kind of like funneling up, and I think that it'll, you know, I'll gain a little bit this way so it doesn't funnel like that. But I don't hate the neck. It's just not like structured, but the more it's there, the like, I don't know. I'm in pain. I have to be honest. My shoulder really hurts, and I pulled my pec muscle, like my armpit hurts, and I think it's my pec, it's like my front armpit, all on my left side. I don't think, like, it seems crazy that would all be from knitting, but I don't know what else it would be from. So I only did like, I was trying to do another 10 rows tonight, and I did 1 row because I really don't want to injure myself more. So I just did a row really slowly over like an hour and a half, or no, I did it over like 45 minutes. And I'm just gonna see how it continues to progress. I did knit on something else. I knit my swatch for the doppio I'm making. I just learned it's doppio, not doppio. So I'm making a doppio with friends as a little mini knit along, and this is my swatch. So that was very fun to work on, and felt so fast on a US 10 needle. This is a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter, and a US 10 I think is 7.5 millimeters. So this was so fun and fast. So yeah, that's the update for the night. I work tomorrow and Thursday. It's Tuesday. So minimal knitting is going to happen over those 2 days, and that's okay. But maybe I can split for sleeves between tomorrow and Tuesday. I'm on row 88 and I split at 97. So I have 9 rows. But each row has like 500 stitches. So 9 rows takes forever. So yeah. Okay. I'm sleepy. I got work in the morning. I'm gonna go to bed. But yeah, it's cute. Once I split for sleeves, I promise to give a good try on instead of just like in the bad lighting. It's dark out. I'm on the couch, don't even stand up. But that's what you get right now. I'm sleepy and my arm hurts. So, okay. Good night. I have an update with my little creepy girl. Little creep. I'm on the splitting for sleeves row. Actively knitting it. Should be going to bed, but like desperately need to split at least one of the sleeves, if not both. So I'm, knitting away, even though It's almost 11 o'clock. I've been working the last 2 days, hence why I did not have any updates. Also, I thought I'd hurt my shoulder. I think I said that in my last update, but I thought I'd hurt my shoulder from over knitting, and then I did a chest opener stretch and felt like I pulled a pec muscle. My shoulder really hurt, and so I was trying to kind of take it slow with the knitting. Turns out I actually moved a rib. Just like not that bad, but enough that it was pulling on some neck muscles and some of my pec, and it was making my shoulders really hurt. Well, my one shoulder. So I was taking it slow, but I got it fixed. So that's nice. I can move again comfortably, which is lovely. And the knitting was not causing it. So that's also lovely, because I was really sad that I was gonna have to slow down on knitting, but nope, it's fine. So yeah, it's been an exhausting few days at work. Where I work at Explorer Knits, we have a DIY class this weekend where people are coming to the studio to learn how to dye yarn, which is really exciting. It's gonna be cool, but we've been prepping for that, and it's a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. And tomorrow's Friday, and then I'm there on Saturday for the DIY class. So yeah, trying to film updates as I go, but you know, life is kind of happening at a fast pace. So okay, I will, check in probably tomorrow morning with the first real try on, because until now I've been trying on like a weird little poncho collar thing, but this will be a real try on with sleeves. So get excited. And okay, good night. Bye. Okay, it's on, and generally, like, from the front, this looks so good. I do kind of have like squash boobs. That's okay though. Like, I don't know, I think I'm so excited. Oh my god, I can't stop looking at it. I thought of this and now it's here. Insane. I do need to fix the neck. It's a little bunchy, so I have to do some slight surgery to... Originally I worked top down on the neck. I think I can pick up right here though and rip out what I have in the neck and do it on smaller needles so that it cinches in a little bit more, because it's just too much. And I don't really know if I need the short rows in the neck. Like, I think that the short row in the collar situation wouldn't work. So I personally don't always feel like I need short rows. I might look into some short rows to add like right below the collar if people wanted to, or potentially people could do them like extending some of the color work in the back. I don't know exactly. I'm gonna put some thought into that. I think this sample won't have short rows, but I will put some thought into how I can add short rows for the people that really do hate the up in your neck feeling, but it feels like it's kind of wide enough as well that like I don't feel constricted in my neck. Look at it. Oh my god. I might also steam block it just to like have the joy of having it be a little smoother in like the stitches, you know, like smooth out the tension a little bit. But I overall am so incredibly happy with how it's looking. Like this front view, so good. Side view without the neck, if I like tuck that in. So good. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm gonna actually leave the house in 15 minutes, but I'm gonna work on it for a little bit before I do. I'm so happy. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. Hi. It's like 2 days later. Same exact filming location, same exact clip essentially, but I've finished the color work and I'm just unstocking it in the round. I'm out of breath. I worked yesterday. I work at Explore Knits and it was our dye class. So we had people in the studio all day dyeing their own yarn and helping them and everything, and it was like 90 degrees and I don't do that well with heat. So I'm really tired today and I feel just like out of breath existing. But this is where I'm at with the sweater. So now I think before I get any further on the body, I want to go back and mess with the neck because it's definitely too big. So I'm gonna pick up stitches and change it. I do wonder if I even need short rows. I feel like I do. I feel like I need some short rows. Maybe, I don't know, I have to do some thinking, but I think that I have a potential solution for like continuing the short rows in the collar, but sewing the collar down so it's flat and then the short rows are in the body. I think that that might be the best. So I've gotta probably do some maths to make that work, but yeah, honestly, like right now, collar looks pretty good. It is still a little loose here, but yeah, I'm gonna fix it. And otherwise, like, oh, and check this out, armpit shot. Secret garlic! I added a little garlic clove under the sleeve so I didn't have super long floats when I cast on stitches for the undersleeve. And so now there's a little secret garlic, which is so cute. And then the rest of the squash will be on the sleeve. So that's where we are. I'm gonna do some quick surgery and I honestly think I'll write the pattern. I don't know how I'll write it. Oh, there's a, oh. Okay, a cat got stuck in the yarn. Man, they're interested. He would like the yarn. So, okay. Yeah. This is Kepler. He's a very sweet boy. Hi. I feel like I'm really slowing down in progress on the actual sweater because, well, A, I'm fixing the neckline and that just like takes some thinking, so it's slower, but also I'm working on charts so that I can get this ready for testing. So hopefully when you're watching this video, there is actually a testing call in the bio or in the description. Let's hope. So I'm finishing up some charts here, but I am still getting some nice rows done on the neckline. I feel like I didn't film that well yesterday. I was really tired and I was kind of just knitting in between a bunch of other stuff, and I wasn't even really knitting most of yesterday. I was mostly frogging the existing neckline and then figuring out short rows. And so I did decide for short rows. Originally I tried to put them in the collar and I felt like it just wasn't really working. It was just making too much extra stuff at the top of the collar rather than like giving me extra in the body, if that makes sense. So I did do a little bit of short rows just in the back here. So it does drop down the soup sweater in the very back. I think honestly the fit, it's a little bit of a looser circular yoke, and so you might not need short rows if you don't tend to do them. You could admit it. But yeah, this was kind of the only way I could think of to add the short rows. So the front, you know, is right up at the top, and then there's like 10 rows in the back where there's space, and I don't think it'll be that noticeable in the grand scheme of things, and will give a little bit more, you know, you want this the back of the neck a little bit more lifted up so that the front sits a little bit lower and you don't feel like you're being choked. I honestly don't always feel like I need short rows just based on my anatomy, but I know for some people they're really important, so I wanted to make sure that working ones were in the pattern. So I finally figured those out last night and finished that, and then picked up for stitches on the neckline. I decided as well, originally I'd started with the neckline and worked down because I wanted to do the short rows in the neckline, or in the collar, but I think that it's definitely not going to work to have the short rows in the collar. It needs to be like below the collar. So I'm actually going to have the pattern written where you also pick up stitches for your neckline instead of having to knit the collar first. I think first of all, it adds more structure to have the pickup stitches. Like it just adds like kind of a little bit of a seam, you know, here, and that does help with a little bit more structure, and I can pick up less stitches than are in the Colorwork because I felt like the collar was a little bit too big. And so I picked up at a rate of 3 out of every 4 stitches so that it's a little bit smaller in the neckline. And I think that that is also going to make a better fit. If you do want to make the sweater and you do not like a tight neck, you could just pick up all the stitches and avoid that. But I think for me, I wanted a little bit of a tighter neck. And so I think that that is also a good reason for this change. So I'm positive about it, and I'm just slowly tinking on it. I'm about halfway through because it's a folded collar on US 2 and 1x1 ribs. So it takes a little while, but I'm also, as I'm working on this, I'm working on charts. I think I said that. So I'm just slowly picking it up to work on it while I'm thinking. And then I've got charts in front of me. I'm making the final few sizes of charts before I can get the pattern tech edited and ready for testing. So that's really exciting. And yeah, it's Tuesday, June 16th right now, and my goal is to finish the sweater by June 20th. Have a test call on the 22nd. So let me know if that's happening. I guess I'll find out when I'm editing this, when it's gonna happen. But yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just working on that. I do have to pause soon and take my cats to the vet. But in the meantime, I'm working on that. And I've got very, very drugged little kitty. There she is. I'll go over and show you, but my cat Fig is a little bit feisty at the vet, so she needs to take a sedative before we go. And so she's a very sleepy little girl right now, which is so cute. Hi friends. I have 5 rows left on the body before ribbing, but I gave this a little steam block last night and it has opened up so nicely. The fabric feels so nice. And I like the neckline. I think that it's good. I might add some elastic when I'm done, but I do like the way the neckline's sitting. And yeah, this looks like a sweater. I have it on because I am finishing all the grading and math to have the pattern ready. I'm just like double checking stuff before it goes to tech editing. So I've been kind of in a math hole for like an hour and a half, about just trying to fix all this, make sure everything makes sense, and we're almost there. I've already put in a lot of time into this pattern, so it's almost there. But yep, figuring out some last things like sleeve length and all of that. And I'm feeling good about it. I think I can finish the body today. That's my goal at least. So I would really like to get this pattern done so I can actually work on the knitting part. It's hard to balance like writing the pattern and the knitting of the pattern. So yes, I guess that's it. If you want to see my spreadsheets, this is what I've been staring at for, you know, multiple hours now. So that's my mouse. So okay, that's the update as of now, and hopefully next time I talk to you I have a bound off body. Let's see. I have like 5 rows of stockinette and then 2 inches of body, or of cuff, of ribbing. So yeah, we're gonna vibe on that later. So okay, bye.
Keep your eyes well peeled today. The excise men are on their way, searching for...
Hi, check this out. I'm not attached to anything. I'm fully off the needles and off yarn for the moment. I just bound off the body, so I added a tiny little stripe. I think it's so cute. It's obviously like the ribbing's not blocked, so once it's blocked I think it's gonna be perfect. It's a little bit shorter right now than I want it to be, but I think with blocking it's gonna like I'm not tugging on it very much, I'm just straightening it out, and that's making it hit basically where I want it. I wanted this to be shorter because I didn't really want it to like hug at my hips at all, so it's perfect length for me, but I might, you know, add information about making it longer if people want, because I know that I like a shorter sweater. It's still, I mean, I'm wearing the highest waist pants in the world, but like here, this is my belly button, and once it's post blocking, it'll be like the ribbing hits at my belly button, the top of the ribbing hits at my belly button, so that's kind of what I like. So it's not up in my across my hips as well, because I don't want it to like hug my hips. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be happy with the fit after I block it, and I'm gonna start on a sleeve now. So wee! I do have work in the morning and it is 9 o'clock, so I'm not gonna do that much, but I'll do a little. Maybe I can finish the color work on the sleeve and then just have to decrease tomorrow. So, okay, bye. Hi, this is gonna be very, very fast because I'm actually already gonna be late for work, but I had to do a try-on. This is where we are. I did learn last night. I am working with my tech editor now on the pattern, and the gauge of the color work and the stockinette look the same. I did size down needles one size, Turns out they're not the same. And so it's a little bit more ease down at the bottom than like over the Colorwork. Honestly, I think it's okay, but I'm kind of like thinking about it for a day, and I just steam block the ribbing just to see what I thought, and I like it. Like it doesn't feel like that. So I'm still gonna think about it for the day. I did start working on this sleeve as well, so I've got a few rows left of Colorwork there. And yeah, that's where we are. Sorry for a quick update. I'm gonna be late for work, but wanted to show you where it was at this point. So I don't know. I'm also gonna ask all my coworkers today what they think, and I'll go from there. So we might have to fully reknit the body on like a US 1 needle, but we're gonna see. So I don't know. Okay, bye. Hi friends, it's the next day, even though it's like, I feel like I'm getting the same clips over and over of me just trying it on, but promise I'll film some other stuff today. It's just been busy, and so the only time I update is when I have something to say about the try-on. But so last time you saw me, I was kind of freaking out about the fit. I feel like I didn't explain it that well because I was literally like going to be late for work. So here's a little bit more detail about what's happening with the fit. For whatever reason, oh my god, my tripod's like slowly sinking. The top of my tripod does not work. For whatever reason, I just assumed that like sizing down one needle size would mean that my gauge was the same between the Colorwork and the stockinette. And I was like, yeah, that'll be fine. Like, it'll look good. Like, in my gauge swatch, I did a section of stockinette, but I never checked the gauge difference. I just like visually looked at it and I was like, it looks the same. Dumb. So there is a gauge difference. Now that I'm working with my sample knitter or my tech editor, they were like, yeah, the gauge is different. Obviously, like I counted the gauge and they were like, it will make some of the larger sizes have like 10 more inches of circumference. The smaller size, like this is the size medium, the third size, and it doesn't have that big of a difference, but it's still like different. So then I was like, oh crap, oh shoot, do I need to add in decreases? Do I need to change needle sizes? Like, what do I do? Because, you know, this is over the yoke, so a lot of the times when there is a gauge difference in the stockinette and a Colorwork yoke like this, you just cast on less stitches underneath the sleeve, but the Colorwork goes underneath the sleeve, so you can't do that. So then I was like, what do I do? Does it matter? And my tech editor was encouraging me that like the fit is nice and that it's kind of like, they were saying it's kind of like around a campfire vibes, like very much like a more casual, fun look. And there are other patterns that have this fit. And I honestly do really like the sweater. The back of it, I'm like, it definitely like, you know, is bigger, but it's like feels very relaxed too, which I like. And so what we've come to, I brought it to work. I wore it to work, like in the car. I wanted to see how I felt while I was driving in it and sitting in it. And so I spent like the hour of my commute like with it on the needles on the sleeves driving to work. And I kept thinking like, oh god, if I like get in an accident or something, I'm gonna get stabbed by my needles. But it was fine, obviously. And I asked all my coworkers to give me input. I love working at a place where everyone's a knitter. It's so nice. So I tried it on, I talked to my coworkers. They all agreed that they also like the fit. Like here's the side angle so you can kind of see, like, well, I'm wearing black pants, so I feel like it's harder to tell, but like, you know, there's more room back here. Like if I pull it tight against me, you know, there's more room. There's more room on the sides and back here, and you know, it's a stretchy fabric. So yeah, after talking to all of them, I think that I do really like the fit of it. I think it's nice. I think it's like relaxed and cozy and cute. And I think I was debating adding optional decreases because you could just do like a round of decreases when you switch from Colorwork to stockinette in order to keep a more similar bust circumference between the Colorwork and the stockinette. But that might be confusing to write in the pattern. I don't want to make a pattern that's like too long and too many options that people get overwhelmed. And so I'm not going to add it as an option, at least for the testing period. I'll see what my testers think and say, especially when it comes to the larger sizes. It might become more important because, you know, the gauge difference will be more pronounced because there's more stitches. So we'll see what they think. As well, I'll, you know, the nice thing about testing is I get to talk to everyone. So when I choose testers and am first talking to them, I'll also say like, hey, here's how it currently fits. Like if you want to try something different, I'm more than open to that. Like I would love to see, you know, what decreases are like, blah, blah, blah. I'm happy to work with you, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I am on a sleeve now. It's crazy. Like this looks so nice. And then the Colorwork on the sleeve's all bunched because it's not blocked. So I'm on the sleeve. I'm halfway done with my decreases on the sleeve and about at my elbow. So then I'll finish decreases about here and have this much. And I'm having the sleeves hit like basically where my watch hits, like end there. So like a little bit short. I don't know. I just like that for this style a little bit better. My goal is finish the sleeve today. It's a Friday. My goal was actually have the sweater done today. Not happening, but that's okay because I've also been talking to Ryan of Salty Blonde, who this is her yarn. So the soup color I bought, the flour sack color, which is my main color, she gave me, which was so nice. So I've been talking to her about having some sort of test support, like yarn support for testing. I think what we're gonna do is have a limited color palette available on a few fingering weight bases and have some discount. My guess would be like 10 to 15%, but we haven't finalized it. So if when this video goes live, I have that final information, I'll put it. I just know there's going to be something, and I know like at least these two colors she'll make available for testers. And then a dark version. She sent me these yarns as well, thinking like this could be fun, and I swatched in them, so it looks like this squash is so tiny compared to this squash, but the yarn combo looks like this, which I think is also fun. So we're gonna make these available, and maybe a few other colors like these four, and then a few other colors that are giving soupiness. So talking to her, but she's unavailable for a while, so that actually makes my deadlines go away, because I was holding myself to certain deadlines around posting schedules and like to be able to start the test sooner than later so the pattern can come out sooner than later. But like if she's unavailable to send out yarn, I'm not going to start a 10-week testing period knowing that like the yarn support I've offered isn't available for like 3 weeks. So that gives me a little more time as well, which is kind of nice. I was feeling really stressed on Wednesday night. I didn't want to film because it was like midnight when I was figuring out that the fit wasn't exactly what I wanted, or I like the fit. I don't want to say not exactly what I wanted, but like different than I thought. And you know, I'm trying to tech edit while still finishing the pattern, which is a different experience for me. Like in the past, I've like not given myself a deadline on knitting the design. I've just knit it, and I've definitely put some more pressure on myself for this one with like trying to get it done by a certain time and have like the pattern ready at the same time that I finish the design, and have like everything ready to go so that I can start like testing and yada yada. It's a lot of internal pressure. And it's definitely like, I like deadlines. I'm not a person that like dislikes them. My coworkers laugh at me a lot because I'm like choosing to do a bunch of sample knits with deadlines, and I give myself a deadline just in my head for like every project I knit, no matter if it's a design or, you know, just someone else's pattern that I'm knitting for myself. Like I just have a mental deadline for everything. So that didn't really stress me out, but just like wasn't the most realistic deadline. And then I didn't give myself enough time as well to accommodate for like changes and stuff. So it's kind of nice that I have an outside force now making me take a little longer. So I do still want to finish a sleeve today. Like I think that's totally doable. I'm halfway there already on the sleeve between like I'm halfway through the decreases and then I have this much color work done on it, and so like I have half the length I need of the sleeve. So I think that that's totally doable. My goal today is literally sleeve. That's like the only thing I'm doing today. I have to go to the grocery store and I have to knit a sleeve. So totally doable. So I am gonna go to the grocery store, give my fingies a little break, and then I'll come back to knitting. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll knit outside again. I could give you a cucumber update if you want. I don't know why I'm saying if you want. You don't have a choice. I'm pre-filming this. But my garden's really going off, so maybe I'll give you a little garden update too. Although it's like 95 degrees today, so that sucks because I hate the heat. But yeah, okay. This is getting real chatty, so I'm gonna go grocery shopping and I will talk to you again soon, or I will knit in front of you again soon. So, bye. Hello, I'm back from the store. That took me way longer than expected, but I ended up buying this sweatshirt. It was on sale for $15. And I bought another Awala water bottle because I'm addicted to them. This is an Awala. Well, this is one Awala. The normal one has like a straw. I'll show you later. I'm excited about it. It's like a normal water bottle. Did I need it? No. Does it fit in my cup holder unlike the other ones? Yes. So I bought it. And I bought this sweatshirt and a few other, like, they had a really good sale on a lot of their active stuff. But anyways, I'm here to work on my sleeve again. I think I'm just gonna listen to my book. Like, I don't think I want to watch anything right now. I'm gonna listen to my book and knit. And I made myself a full toddler snack plate. Here's the spread. First of all, it's on my fish plate. There's a fish on the bottom of this plate. I've got pirate's booty, double cheddar, a piece of cheese, half a cookie, and a yogurt. So I'm excited. I don't know if this is a hack. It's probably not. I think a lot of other people do this. But if you are knitting and want to eat something like pirate's booty where it gets a lot of dust on your fingers, or like Cheetos or whatever, chopsticks. Or just generally, if you don't like, I don't like stuff on my fingers, so I eat a lot of snack foods with chopsticks. Like, you can eat the cheese, pick up the cookies. I did get a spoon for my yogurt, but otherwise, this is a chopstick meal. The double cheddar Pirate's Booty is really good, by the way, if you have not had it. Pirate's Booty in general is really good, but the double cheddar is very good. So yeah, I'm gonna eat my toddler plate. I'm gonna knit on some sleeve, listen to my audiobook. I'm listening to Rule of Wolves, which is the second in the King of Scars series, which is kind of a sequel to both Shadow and Bone. Nope. Yeah, Shadow and Bone. It's by Leigh Bardugo. And Six of Crows. Which is like all part of the Grisha-verse. So there's like characters called Grisha. So I'm gonna listen to that and eat my child snack and knit. Garden tour, maybe I'll do later, but it is 100 degrees. So I'm tired. Oh, and drink water, I cannot forget. I have to drink water. Okay, bye. Good morning. Oh my gosh, look at that one piece of hair. Whatever. Good morning. I've got a fig in the window and I'm knitting outside before it gets too hot again. It's like in the 70s right now, but it's gonna get back up into the high 90s today. So, but enjoying a little bit of knitting outside before it gets there, and doing like a plant medicine workshop this morning, so knitting before that as well. I did not finish the sleeve. I keep setting very lofty goals for myself. I thought I was gonna finish a sleeve yesterday and get through the color work on a second sleeve. I did almost finish the sleeve. I left off with 6 rows left of ribbing and I was just like, I can't anymore. It was like 10:30. It's like, I'm done, I'm tired. So I'm just finishing that off this morning, and then I'll get the next sleeve back on the needles, but pretty excited with how it's fitting. And there's a wind right now, and I have a big like maple tree in front of our house, and so it's like rustling the leaves and it's just the most peaceful sound. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm enjoying that I'm almost done with the sleeve. The small circumference needles really slow me down, gotta be honest. So I think on the second sleeve I might use magic loop instead, because the second small circumference, not for me. Sorry, my AC just kicked on and I'm watching a blue jay. I'm getting really into birds. Like, I've been sitting out here a lot and just like really enjoying watching all the birds go by. So yeah. Oh, I'll show you the garden though before I just peacefully knit. Okay, so I told you I'd show you the cucumbers again. So I'll try to like insert what they looked like last time, although for you would have seen it pretty recently. They've really blown up. They're like real happy, they're rising. I've got to start securing them to my little arch thing. My beets are also going crazy, and then the carrots are going pretty crazy as well. My pepper, I think, has gotten a little taller, and then my cantaloupe is starting to put off these little tendrils to like start grabbing onto things, so I need to get it to grab on here. I think I need to get some more paper, and then, or some more like wire. And then look how tall my tomato has gotten. Crazy. And same with this tomato, has gotten really tall as well. Like, it's at like, I don't know, like waist height. So yeah, my little garden's really going off, which makes me so happy. We're off the needles. It's hopefully done. I'm gonna give it a block and make sure I like the fit of everything, so I'm not weaving in ends yet, but right now I think like the only thing is the arms need to grow a little bit, and I really trust that that's gonna happen because I can really comfortably like kind of move them to where I want, and so I trust that blocking will relax that and do it. So finally off the needles. This project felt like it took forever near the end, but I just checked and it's been on the needles, well, it was on the needles for 3 weeks and 2 days, so not too long, not too bad. For a fingering weight sweater, that's pretty good. So I'm very happy with it. I think that it's really fun, cute, and yeah, it's really comfortable. I love this yarn. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna block it now, and I won't make you watch me block it. I mean, maybe you enjoy that. maybe I'll film some clips of me blocking it, but mostly I will just come back to give you a before and after of the blocking. So here's a good before of, like, you can see the arms are very bunched up, and it's, you know, like I've steam blocked a lot of it, so the Colorwork has mostly been steam blocked, but on the sleeve, you know, it's very kind of bunchy and stuff. And then I think I'll come back very shortly with well, very shortly for you. It'll be like a day later for me, but I will be back with the post-block update soon. Hello, it's actually about a week since I finished the sweater. I just got busy. I needed to block it, you know, all of the things. But here's the last little try-on bit. It's so cute. I love it. There's mushrooms, there's the carrots, there's the butternut squash, and here is armpit garlic. So freaking cute. The holes I've got to repair a little bit more. Just, you know, picking up with multiple colors. Gonna end up with some holes, but the sweater's done, and that is so cute. It's so nice. I love the way it fits on me. Almost fell over. I feel like it's, I don't know, it's a really nice fit. I made mine quite short. Like, here's my belly button, here's the end of the sweater, so like it's an inch past my belly button. So could have made it longer, but I'm actually quite happy with it. I think that it looks very nice over high-waisted leggings, which is what I wear the majority of the time. So it's kind of perfect for my life. So yeah, that's it. That's the sweater journey. If you have watched this long and you love the soup sweater as much as I do, I am doing a test call for it. So you'll find the link to the test call in the description below. It'll be a 10-week testing period. So, you know, you'll have from next Friday probably is when we'll start it. Friday, I think that's the 4th, through 10 weeks. So it'll be sometime in September, maybe October? Sometime in September, like mid-September, when it'll wrap up. Salty Blonde Fine Fibers, who I got this yarn from, she so nicely gave me the flower sack colorway. She is also doing some test sponsorship, so if you do want to knit the sweater, if you get chosen as a tester, you will get a code for 15% off her yarns and a special collection of colorways that will be on a very quick pre-order. So you'll be able to do these colors, the soup colorway, flower sack colorway. You could also make a dark version and do this color, which is something truffles and chartreuse with envy. I swatched in this originally. So it'd look like this or inverse. And then there's two other colors. There's another color that is called, forgetting the names of the others, but there's two other colors. Ooh, one's oak, which is beautiful brown, and one other color that I'm forgetting the name of, but I will have the information up for your perusal. I think it'd be really fun to see some 3-color versions with like different, you know, each ingredient being a different color. So yeah, if you're interested, I'm always so grateful to Ryan. You're also welcome to use whatever yarn you want if you do want to test it. But it's a nice little bonus that she's adding. So, okay, that is all on this sweater. Thank you so much for journeying with me on this. I am so ecstatic that it's done. I am really hot right now. Like, it's a warm sweater and it is not sweater weather. So I'm gonna go take it off and actually edit this video so you can see it today. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me on this journey. And I hope you love soup sweater as much as I do. So, okay.